Hi everyone, my name is Rose Krzemien, and this is my final presentation on the link between coping style and cancer. Cancer is a common word in our society when talking about research, awareness, and healthcare. According to the American Cancer Society, cancer is a group of more than 100 diseases that are characterized by abnormal cellular growth. Unlike healthy cells, which sometimes die, cancer cells multiply not only progressively, but they are also able to multiply cells that are abnormal in structure. Depending on the type of cancer someone has, it could be caused by environmental factors, such as exposure to specific carcinogens, or by their genetic predisposition for the disease. Just like the difference in the types of cancer, there are also differences in their symptoms. Some are on the surface and visible to the naked eye, while testing and use of scans such as MRIs and X-rays may be necessary to pinpoint the problem. In the U.S., more than 100 million people are diagnosed with cancer a year, with the most common types being breast cancer, prostate cancer, and lung cancer. The psychosocial factor that I believe corresponds with cancer is the coping style. Coping style, or strategies as defined by the MacArthur Foundation at the University of California, San Francisco, are the specific efforts, both behavioral and psychological, that people employ to master, tolerate, reduce, or minimize stressful events. There happen to be many different types of coping styles. Some of these coping styles include more productive ones, such as problem solving, or counterproductive ones, such as maladaptive. Some of these examples, which will be displayed on the next slide, as well as this one, are simple in nature, such as taking deep breaths, while some of them involve more psychological understanding of the brain chemistry of an individual during a stressful situation or when a stressor is present. Some of the examples include talking to someone, finding a solution, taking deep breaths, having negative thoughts about oneself or the situation, blaming others, and living in denial. And this is just a diagram that I found about some of the general terms associated with different types of coping and the feelings that are usually accompanied with coping. For example, in the active or productive coping methods, which is in the purple, examples include joining a group, finding acceptance, and setting priorities. Negative coping methods, which are seen in the green, or they are counterproductive, include denial, helplessness, and projection. For this specific relationship of cancer and coping, I hypothesize that there is a relationship between the progression of cancer and the negative use of coping mechanisms during cancer treatment. Throughout some of the research, there truly is no strong supportive evidence for the relationship between the presence of stress and developing cancer. However, there is some evidence as to the presence of stress and coping mechanisms in relation to cancer growth. Since there is this new approach into living with cancer, which is the emphasis of using positive coping mechanisms to treat and communicate with patients, that has increased dramatically within the medical field. This could affect the longevity of someone's cancer, regardless of the strength or type of cancer they have. These counterproductive methods of coping could not only lead to deterioration of cells and advancement of the cancer, but it could lead to external behaviors that could actually cause a different type of cancer to develop. Stress, since the time of the cavemen, if you will, was meant to protect us from danger. Whether it was running away from an animal or not putting our hand into an open flame, stress responses have allowed us to survive as a species into modern day, which most of us now think of the fight or flight. However, this stress that we have in our daily lives now, that happens at a constant rate, could be increasing the longevity and intensity of cancer in those individuals who actually have cancer. The biochemical components of stress in the brain could indeed affect physical factors of other bodily processes, such as cell growth. Cell growth, as we know, is often seen in cancer, which causes those cells to grow into other parts of the body. As an example, individuals could develop habits that are not only generally unhealthy, but could lead to more problems when co-occurring with cancer. Some of these stressors that occur with diagnosis could lead to comorbidity, which could cause the cancer to become even more intense due to the presence of other factors. Aging, as it relates to coping in cancer, plays a major role in the outcome of both components. Aging and cancer have been recently researched in various fields such as biology and genetics. Recently, there was research conducted on the relationship between telomere length and cancer. As we know from lectures, telomere length decreases with age, as long as with diseases and other factors that occur in old age. Similarly to aging, cancer is also evident of shorter telomeres. And these shorter telomeres are actually also evident in some cancers, such as prostate cancer. Furthermore, most of the screenings that are done for cancer are generally completed when someone reaches the age of 40 or above. So even with some cancers occurring in young adults and children, most are not being screened until before or at retirement age. Within research associated with old age, older adults are more likely to have to cope with these physical limitations and changes in their daily lifestyle with physicality as compared to younger adults who are more concentrated in work and home life. These physical changes, especially if they are something as severe as cancer, could cause someone to change coping style due to limitations in previous activities and more present realization of death. Although presenting themselves in different manners, comorbidly, cancer and coping create the end of life very difficult for older individuals. And here are my sources. Thank you so much for watching my presentation.